Space is silent, not the silence we know on Earth, but a deep, endless silence that feels alive. A silence that watches everything. A silence that has existed since the beginning of time. And in this silence, a man floats alone. He does not move. He cannot move. His arms drift gently in the void like slow waves in a dark ocean. His body turns little by little, controlled only by the soft push of nothingness. His suit reflects the distant starlight. It shines like a tiny silver shell in the middle of a giant universe. Below him, the Earth glows blue-white alive. Clouds paint soft shapes across its surface. Continents fade into oceans. Storms swirl like white spirals. From here, Earth looks peaceful, quiet, untouched. But to him, it feels far away, like a memory that is slowly disappearing. Inside the helmet, his breathing is loud. Each breath sounds like wind inside a small glass bowl. Slow, heavy, unsure. His heart beats faster than it should. The digital screen inside his visor shows numbers: oxygen level, pressure, temperature. The oxygen drops 1%, then another. It is not dangerous yet, but it is not safe either. His name is not important here, not yet. What matters is the moment, this moment where he hangs between life and the unknown. The camera of the mind pulls back slowly. The small human figure floats in the giant black sea of space. Thousands of stars shine around him like cold diamonds. A distant comet passes silently, leaving behind a long tail of white dust that fades into darkness. Everything looks peaceful, but something is not right. As he rotates, he sees something behind him, far away at first, only a tiny dark shape. It moves without any sound or light. It does not blink. It does not flash. It simply exists. A small dark curve against the star field. His eyes widen. His breath catches. The shadow grows as he turns more. Is it a piece of space debris, a broken part of a ship, a lost satellite, or something completely unknown? The shadow passes behind him, slow and smooth, like a giant creature gliding through deep water. He tries to twist his body to see it better, but he cannot turn fast enough. The shadow disappears again. The stars return. His voice breaks the silence. "Mission Control, do you copy?" Only static replies. A soft crackling sound, thin and weak. No voice, no answer, no rescue. He tries again, louder this time, but space does not carry sound. His words stay trapped inside his suit. The radio should carry them, but something is blocking the signal, something he cannot see. The camera closes in on his eyes, wide, alert, filled with fear and wonder. He checks his suit thrusters. Dead. The small lights around the controls blink red. He tries to move his arms again, but there is nothing to push against. In space, drifting is like dreaming. You move only where the universe decides to take you. He looks down at his glove. Tiny ice crystals form along its surface. They sparkle in the starlight like frozen dust from another world. He knows the temperature outside is minus hundreds of degrees, but inside the suit he feels warm. Too warm. Sweat runs down his forehead and collects at the edge of his eyebrows. His mind begins to go back to think about how he reached this terrifying, beautiful moment, but before he can remember, something happens. The stars behind him start to distort. The blackness bends slightly like a curtain moving with a soft breeze, but there is no breeze in space. Nothing should move, nothing should bend. Yet the stars shift as if something huge is passing in front of them. He freezes. His eyes follow the distortion. The shape grows again. A massive dark form, silent, smooth, and impossible to define. It does not shine, it does not reflect light. Instead, it seems to swallow light, drink it, absorb it. It is not a ship, at least not like any ship built by humans. It is not a natural object either. It is something else, something ancient, something patient, something that has been waiting. His heartbeat rises, his breathing gets faster. He hears his own voice echo inside the helmet. What are you?" He knows he will get no answer. Yet the shadow stops. It hangs far behind him, watching him. He cannot explain how he knows it is watching, but he feels it, a presence, a thought, a focus. The same way a deep-sea fish might feel the presence of a giant whale passing nearby. Then just as slowly as it appeared, the shadow begins to fade. Not move away, fade, as if it melts back into the darkness. Soon the stars return to their normal shape. The blackness becomes flat and empty again. For a moment, he wonders if he imagined it. Maybe the lack of oxygen is playing tricks. Maybe his mind is trying to survive by creating something to focus on. But then he checks his oxygen again. It is low, yes, but not low enough to cause hallucinations. The shadow was real. The silence grows heavier. Time feels thick like honey. Seconds stretch into long moments. He tries not to panic. He keeps his eyes on Earth, trying to use its familiar glow to stay calm. But Earth is turning. Slowly, it becomes smaller as he drifts farther away. He knows he must remember how all of this began. He must understand the mission. The story cannot continue until the truth comes back to him. His mind tries to reach the memories hidden beneath shock and fear. The camera shifts to a close-up of his face, his eyes close for a moment. He takes a slow breath. Then another sound, a faint hum, not from his suit, not from his radio, not from space. The hum vibrates through his bones, a low frequency, soft but deep. It feels like a giant heartbeat far away. It feels alive. He opens his eyes again. The stars in front of him begin to brighten just a little, then they pulse. One pulse, a second pulse. Slow, rhythmic. Light waves move across the darkness like invisible ripples. He tries to understand what he is seeing, but nothing in his training prepared him for this. Light should not move like waves through empty space. Sound should not exist here, yet something is pushing energy through the void. The hum becomes stronger. His visor glass shakes only for a moment. He touches the side of his helmet, confused. The hum stops suddenly like someone snapped their fingers. Silence returns, but the silence feels different now. He feels watched again, observed, measured. He tries the radio one more time. Mission control, please respond. Static. Only static. His drifting speed increases slightly. He notices it when his body turns more rapidly than before. Something is pulling him, but he cannot see from where. He widens his eyes as the camera rotates with him. Far in the distance, near the place where the shadow first appeared, a faint glow begins to form. Not bright, not flashing, just a small, soft point of light. A new star? No. New stars are not born in seconds. This is something closer, something deliberate. The glow grows in size. His suit sensors beep. They detect an unknown energy field, weak but rising. He whispers. Oh no, the light expands into a shape. A thin line, then a curve, then a ring of pale white energy. It spins slowly like a floating doorway. The edges break into small sparks like dust made of lightning. This is no natural event. This is a sign, a message, a warning, a path. He does not know which one. The energy ring floats calmly in empty space, waiting. He cannot pull away. He cannot turn his body. He can only watch. His breathing becomes shallow. The temperature inside the suit rises again. His oxygen drops another %. Time feels like it is breaking into pieces. Then everything goes black for half a second. When the lights return, the ring is gone and he is alone again. The shadow, the hum, the distortion, the ring, they all happened. He knows he saw them. He knows the universe is trying to show something, but he still does not understand what. At this moment, as his mind races, as fear mixes with wonder, as the universe around him grows larger and stranger, the documentary narrator speaks. Before this man found himself drifting alone in the silent sea of the cosmos, his story began somewhere else. A mission, a discovery, a message from the deep universe. The camera zooms slowly toward his face as the stars dim. To understand why he is here, why he is trapped between life and the unknown, we must go back. A soft flash of light fills the screen. Cut to black. Before, he was floating alone in the silent darkness of space, before the strange shadow followed him, before the universe began speaking in light and whispers. He was just a man on a mission that looked simple on paper but was never simple in truth. The story rewinds. The black screen fades into a bright white hallway, clean, metallic, filled with soft humming sounds from computers hidden behind smooth walls. He walks through the corridor in a white suit, holding a tablet close to his chest. His steps echo lightly. Behind him, 2 other crew members talk quietly, but their words are distant, almost blurred, like memories sinking under deep water. He reaches a large circular window. Outside, Earth shines brightly, turning slowly like a giant living marble. Clouds move across continents. Sunlight reflects off oceans. From this view, everything looks peaceful. But inside the research station, the tension is rising. A voice calls his name. Calm, professional, but urgent. Commander, you should see this. He turns. A young scientist waves him over to a small control room where half a dozen screens glow with complex patterns. Blue, green, and red lines move in rhythmic pulses like heartbeats of distant stars. The commander steps closer. He studies the screen, a signal, a repeated pattern coming from deep space. The narrator's voice enters the scene, soft and steady. At first, the team believed the strange signal was coming from a distant star, a normal anomaly, perhaps a dying star releasing unusual bursts of energy, nothing more. But the commander did not feel that way. He watches the screen again. The pulse is too clean, too regular, too intentional. One of the scientists, an older man with tired eyes, shakes his head. It's not natural, he says. We have been studying cosmic signals for decades. This one is different. The commander asks, how far is the source? The scientist taps the screen. A small point of light appears on a star map far beyond the solar system, near a region that telescopes rarely observe. Too far for any known object, the scientist says. Too organized to be random, too strong to be an echo. The room becomes quiet. The commander leans forward. Play it again. The signal repeats a rising tone, a pause, a falling tone, two shorter pulses, a long hum. It sounds like a message waiting for someone to answer. The documentary camera closes in on the commander's face, focused, curious, cautious. He feels something he cannot explain, not fear, not excitement, something in between. A feeling like the universe is calling him. Could it be artificial? He asks. The scientists exchange nervous looks. Finally, the older man replies, if it is, then whoever sent it is far more advanced than we are. The commander takes a long breath. A decision is made that same evening. A small exploration craft named Horizon 7 will travel toward the signal's last known location. Not all the way. Of course, no human craft can travel that far yet, but close enough for clearer readings. The scene shifts. The ship stands in a giant hangar. Lights shine down from tall metal arms. Technicians move around like ants preparing a queen. Racks of equipment are loaded. Panels are sealed. Systems are checked. The commander enters the spacecraft. He runs his fingers along the smooth interior, feeling the vibration of power flowing through it. This ship will be his home for the next several days. Maybe weeks. Maybe longer. Narration rises. The Horizon 7 was small but powerful. Built for long-distance research, it could travel farther than any ship of its size. It carried tools, sensors, life support systems, and 3 people whose lives were about to change forever. The 2 crew members step inside behind him. A navigation expert who hides nervousness behind jokes. A quiet engineer who studies every detail, storing information like a walking computer. They strap themselves in. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. Outside the window, the Earth glows below the station. The commander looks at it with soft eyes. Something inside him whispers, this mission will not be normal, but he pushes the thought away. 5, 4, 3. The thrusters ignite. 2, 1. A blast of white light fills the scene. The Horizon 7 launches in seconds. The station shrinks behind them. The black sea of space opens wide. Stars stretch out like ancient lanterns. Inside the cockpit, the navigation expert laughs nervously. That never gets old, he says, but the commander is quiet, focused, watching the instruments. The ship follows a smooth path at first, calm, steady, routine. But after 12 hours, the first anomaly appears. The sensors flicker. Small vibrations run through the metal walls. The engineer frowns. That's strange, she whispers. What is it? The commander asks. Some kind of energy fluctuation. It's coming from ahead, not from the signal source, something else. The commander checks the monitors, a spike on the screen only for a second, then gone. The navigation expert tries to lighten the mood. Space ghosts maybe, but the commander does not smile. He stares into the black void outside the window. Something is out there. Hours pass. Days pass. The deeper they go, the more unusual things become. Lights flicker at random. Temperature drops without warning. Systems reboot for no reason. The engineer runs constant diagnostics, but every time she finishes, the ship behaves normally again, like nothing happened. Narration continues. The commander believed these strange events were not accidents, not malfunctions. They were warnings, subtle signs that something was waiting for them. On the 5th day, they finally reach the coordinates, the signal source. The ship slows. Stars outside seem to stretch as if bending. Space itself looks distorted, like heat waves rising from a desert floor. The commander leans forward. Is it a star? He asks. The engineer shakes her head. No heat, no radiation, no mass. So what is creating the signal? Before she can answer, the signal bursts through their speakers again, louder this time, powerful, almost like a voice, but not made of words. The ship shakes. Lights flash. The navigation expert grips his seat. Commander, energy wave incoming. The wave hits the ship. A massive surge shoves them sideways. Alarms scream. The hull rattles. Tools fall from racks. The commander's body slams against his harness. Another wave, then another. The ship spins. The engineer yells, thrusters not responding. The navigation expert shouts, we're losing control. The commander tries to stabilize the ship. His fingers move fast across the controls. But the energy is too strong. A blinding flash of white light explodes outside the window. The ship tilts sharply. The commander hears metal creaking, then a violent jolt. His body is thrown against the side panel. The air rushes out of him. The memory becomes blurry. He hears someone scream his name. He sees sparks. He feels the ship tearing apart, and then silence. He opens his eyes. His tether is broken. His crew is gone. The ship is spinning away into the distance, and he is floating alone. The narrator's voice returns. In that single moment, the mission changed. The research mission became a survival story. The simple signal became a threat. And the commander found himself trapped between human science and something far beyond human understanding. He watches the Horizon 7 disappear into darkness. A feeling of helplessness rises in him, not fear of death, but fear of the unknown. He tries the radio, only static answers. Tries the thrusters, dead. He tries to move, no control, the universe has taken him. The camera shows his body drifting into the silent ocean of stars, where strange things wait, where shadows follow, where ancient signals originate. Narration deepens. Now the commander understood something he could not admit before. The signal was not calling them, it was luring them. A slow, haunting echo plays, repeating the signal pattern. As the commander drifts farther into space, the same hum from Part 1 vibrates faintly again. Something is coming, something that started with the mission, and will not end until the truth of the universe is revealed. Fade to black, darkness surrounds him again. Infinite quiet, patient, but this time he is not afraid of the darkness, not the way he was when the ship first tore apart. Now the darkness feels different, like it is watching him, studying him, learning his shape in the void. He floats slowly, turning little by little while the stars move like ancient lanterns around him. The commander opens his eyes fully. His breath is slow now, more controlled. Panic has faded into a heavy, strange calm. He knows he is lost, but he also knows something else, something important. Something has been guiding him ever since the signal first reached the research station. The camera of the mind pulls back. A tiny human form drifts among galaxies, a small figure against the endless sky. A fragile spark of life in the middle of a cold, silent cosmos. Narration begins softly. When the commander lost his ship, he did not only lose his way, he lost the world he knew. But in the emptiness that followed, he began to see the universe in a way no human had ever seen before. Ahead of him, a massive nebula glows like a cosmic storm. Reds, blues, purples swirl like painted fire across the sky. The gases shift slowly, dancing in shapes older than Earth itself. Inside its clouds, new stars form, gigantic balls of light growing in silence. He stares at it with wide eyes. "It's beautiful," he whispers to himself. The nebula stretches for thousands of miles, yet it feels close enough to touch. He reaches out a gloved hand, knowing he will never reach it, but unable to stop himself from trying. The human desire to touch beauty never dies, even at the edge of the universe. A small fragment of rock drifts past him. He catches it gently in his hand. The pebble is rough and cold, a piece of an asteroid, a traveler like him. It has probably been floating for millions of years, carried by nothing but gravity and time. He studies it for a moment before letting it go. The rock drifts away, becoming just another part of the endless story of space. Narration continues. In the quiet drifting between stars, the commander discovered something unexpected: peace. A deep, heavy peace that only the universe can give. A peace born from knowing how small we are and how big everything else is. But peace does not last long. As he turns again, he feels something, a presence, gentle but certain. The same feeling he had when the shadow first appeared behind him. A small chill presses against his spine. He looks around slowly, scanning the stars. Nothing moves, nothing shines differently. Nothing breaks the silence, but he can feel it. The narrator whispers, "The universe may be silent, but silence does not mean emptiness." Something was watching him. Something had been watching him ever since the energy wave tore Horizon 7 apart. The hum returns, soft at first, like a distant heartbeat. The vibrations travel through his bones, making his fingers tremble. He cannot hear it with his ears, but he feels it with his entire body. The hum grows stronger. He looks ahead. The stars begin to distort again. Not violently this time, slowly, like a curtain pulled aside by an unseen hand. A long, dark shape emerges from the bending light. A shadow, smooth, enormous, silent. The same shadow he saw before. The same shape that followed him, but now it is closer. A cold breath escapes his lips. His visor fogs slightly. "What are you?" he whispers. The shadow does not answer. It simply hangs there, blocking part of the star field. Not fully solid, not fully light, like a creature made of gravity itself. A presence that bends space without making a sound. The commander studies it carefully. His heart beats slowly but heavily. Narration deepens. Most humans fear what they do not understand. But in this moment the commander felt something different. Not fear, but curiosity. As if some part of him already knew this was no enemy. This was something else entirely. The shadow moves not toward him, but around him, circling like a giant creature swimming through the deep ocean. Its movement is graceful, almost gentle, but the power behind it is undeniable. He feels small. So small he wonders if the shadow even sees him as a living thing or just a floating piece of dust. As the shadow passes, stars behind it reappear like tiny blinking lights. The commander blinks too, amazed. The shadow has no edges, no clear shape, no metal. No heat. It is like a tear in reality, a hole where space folds into itself. He whispers again, "Why are you here?" Then something unexpected happens. The shadow stops moving. It hovers directly in front of him. The hum grows louder. The light around him begins to dim as if the shadow is absorbing it. His suit sensors beep rapidly. Energy spikes. Gravity fluctuation. Radiation levels unknown. The commander tries to speak again, but his voice catches. His throat feels tight. Then light, a small point of white light appears inside the shadow. It grows, spinning like a tiny star being born. The hum changes pitch higher now, almost melodic. The commander watches with awe as the light divides into 2 shapes, then 4, then 8. Each shape rotates slowly. A pattern, a symbol, a message. He realizes the shadow is not just watching him, it is communicating. Narration rises. The universe does not speak in words, it speaks in energy, in patterns, in moments of impossible beauty, and the commander was now hearing the universe's voice for the first time. The symbols rearrange, a spiral, a line, a star shape, a wave. Each form glows brightly before dissolving into the next. He studies them carefully, but he does not understand, not yet. The light fades, the symbols disappear, the hum stops, and just like that the shadow dissolves into pure darkness again, but something changes. Slight spark bursts from the center of where the shadow vanished. A tiny flash like static electricity. It floats toward him slowly, too slowly, almost like it is choosing him. The commander lifts his hand. The spark touches his glove. A jolt shoots through him, not painful but powerful. His mind fills with images, planetary systems forming, galaxies colliding, stars exploding into clouds of cosmic dust. He gasps. His heart races. His breathing becomes shallow. The images grow clearer, faster, more detailed. He sees mountains on alien worlds, oceans that glow under twin suns, skies filled with unfamiliar constellations. He sees civilizations rising and falling, cities built on asteroids, structures floating in nebula light, beings made of pure energy moving like flames. And then he sees something else, a massive structure in deep space, a ring made of light and gravity, the same shape he saw in part 1 before he drifted unconscious. The spark inside his mind pulses. He hears a faint whisper, not in any human language, but he understands its meaning. Come. His eyes widen, the spark fades, the images vanish, his heartbeat slows, narration becomes quieter, more mysterious. From that moment on, the commander understood one thing with absolute clarity. He was not drifting by accident. He was being led. He looks into the endless darkness ahead. And there, far, far away, he sees a glow, not the glow of a star or planet, something softer, something intelligent, a calling. He knows he must follow it, even though he cannot move his body, even though he has no thrusters, even though he has no ship. Something else is guiding him now. He closes his eyes as he drifts, letting the universe carry him. As the screen fades to black, the narrator whispers, what waits for him at the end of that glow is not death but revelation, a truth hidden since the birth of time. The glow in the distance grows larger. It is small at first, like a star that forgot how to shine properly. But as the commander drifts closer, it begins to change. It stretches. It widens. It becomes more than a point of light. It becomes a shape. He watches it carefully, his eyes half afraid and half in wonder. Narration begins softly. Carried by forces he could not see, guided by a signal he could not fully understand, the commander was drifting towards something that did not belong to any map, any chart, any human file. He was moving toward a secret. The glow becomes a thin ring, just a fine line of bright white hanging in the dark. It looks fragile, but the space around it bends like the universe itself is bowing. The closer he gets, the more he feels it. Not with his eyes, not with his ears, but with something deeper. A pressure, a presence, a call. His suit sensors start to react. Numbers race across the display inside his helmet. Unknown energy, unknown frequency. Gravity distortion extreme. His heart beats faster. His oxygen has dropped more now. He knows he does not have much time left. But turning back is not an option. There is nowhere to go. And something inside him whispers that he is exactly where he needs to be. The ring of light turns slowly in the dark like a wheel made of pure energy. At some angles it almost disappears, then reappears as his position changes. It is not a solid object, it is more like a boundary, a thin door between two states of reality. Narrator's voice deepens. What the commander was looking at was not a star, not a planet, not a ship, and not an illusion. It was a structure made of light and gravity, a design too perfect to be an accident and too powerful to be human. He drifts closer. His body rotates slowly, giving him a complete view of the thing ahead. The ring does not look mechanical, but it is clearly intentional. The energy around it rises in waves like a calm heartbeat. Then he notices something. The hum is back. That same low vibration that shook his bones before. It grows stronger as he approaches the ring. But now, instead of fear, the sound fills him with a strange sense of recognition, like hearing a song from long ago. His breathing becomes slow, his eyes relax. For a brief moment he feels no cold, no loneliness, no time, just connection. His radio crackles suddenly. He jumps. A faint voice appears inside his helmet, broken and weak. It sounds like the past trying to reach him. Commander, do you copy? His heart skips. Mission control. He calls out, his voice shaking. This is Horizon 7, Commander. I read you repeat. The signal dissolves into static, no reply. For a moment he hopes he imagined it. Maybe it was just interference, but the timing feels too precise. Was someone or something letting that voice through, a reminder of where he came from? The ring of light fills more and more of his view. Now he is close enough to see details. The ring is not smooth. Inside the bright band are endless tiny lines, like patterns carved into light itself. They move and rearrange, forming spirals, symbols, shapes that look almost like writing, but not any writing known on Earth. The hum changes again. It becomes almost musical. A slow, deep melody without instruments. Narration rises. Humans always believed that if the universe spoke, it would speak through stars and planets, through the movement of galaxies and the birth of new suns. But what the commander was learning now was far stranger. The universe spoke through structures like this, built not from stone or metal, but from rules of physics themselves. His drifting slows. He realizes something. He is no longer just floating freely. Some unseen force is gently controlling his speed, guiding his path. The ring grows larger, but at a calm, measured rate. It is pulling him in, but almost kindly, carefully. His oxygen meter ticks down again. He watches it, then looks back at the ring. If this is how it ends, he whispers, at least I will see something no one else has seen. He is now close enough that the ring fills most of his view. The brightness is intense but not blinding. It feels warm, comforting, like standing near a fire in the cold night. Then, without warning, it happens. The ring pulses. A wave of invisible energy passes through him. His vision blurs. His body feels weightless inside weightlessness. Time slows. The stars around him disappear. There is only light. Bright, white, endless light. For a moment, he thinks he is dying. But then the light begins to change. It softens, divides, reshapes. It becomes a screen or many screens floating all around him, each showing something different. He sees a planet forming out of dust, spinning slowly, pieces colliding, joining, growing. He sees a star being born from a cloud of gas, igniting into burning light. He sees meteors crashing into young worlds, delivering water and the building blocks of life. More images race past him, oceans boiling, skies thick with storms, continents breaking, moving, reshaping. Narration becomes more intense. The commander was no longer just an observer of the universe. For a brief, impossible moment, he was inside its memory. He sees simple cells floating in dark oceans, glowing faintly. Then, over unimaginable time, they change. They grow. They divide. They become plants, then animals, then creatures that walk on two legs on a faraway world, not Earth, but similar. A place where life rose and fell long before humans existed. He sees cities unlike anything on Earth, built into the rings of giant planets, hanging in the skies of blue suns, glowing softly in the shadows of moons. He sees beings, some with bodies, some made of light. Some that walk, some that float, some that are pure energy, moving like slow fire. They do not speak with mouths, they speak with light, with patterns in the air. They build structures like the ring he is approaching now. Structures that bend space, move time, store knowledge. They look peaceful, wise, focused. And then he sees them disappear, a flash, a collapse, a silence. Worlds go dark, stars dim. The cosmic cities crumble, but the rings remain, hanging silently in space, waiting. The images slow down, his heart is pounding, his breath is harsh. Even though he is safe inside his suit, he feels like he has just lived through millions of years in seconds. The narrator speaks softly. In the blink of a human eye, he had seen what no human telescope could ever see. He had watched civilizations rise from dust and return to dust. He had seen that the universe was not empty. It was full of stories, stories kept inside these rings. The light around him calms. The screens of memory fade. Slowly, gently, the stars return. He realizes he is now very close to the ring, too close. The energy around him feels thick, like invisible water. His suit resists it, creaking quietly under the pressure, but the force is not crushing him. It is holding him, cradling him. In front of him, the inner center of the ring darkens. It is no longer just empty space. It is a surface, a door, a portal. He feels the same whisper he felt when the spark touched his glove. Come. His oxygen is dangerously low now. A warning alarm blinks in his visor, a soft, repeating beep. He looks at the display. He looks at the ring. He smiles sadly. I have no choice, do I? He says. Narration rises again. In that moment, the commander understood the terrible and beautiful truth. This was not an accident, not a mistake, not a random disaster of space. He had been chosen not as a hero, not as a savior, but as a witness. The force around him tightens slightly. He moves forward, closer, closer. The surface inside the ring begins to shimmer. It looks like water and glass and shadow all at once. Tiny lights move inside it like stars trapped in a puddle. His visor display glitches for a second. Strange symbols appear where his numbers used to be, the same kind of symbols he saw written in light inside the shadow earlier. He cannot read them, yet somehow he understands their meaning. This is a gateway not to another place in space, but to another layer of the universe's truth. His body reaches the edge. The suit touches the shimmering surface. For a fraction of a second, everything freezes. Then he passes through. There is no pain, no shock, no burning, only transformation. He feels the world around him fall away like old skin. His sense of up and down disappears. The weight of his body, the tightness of his suit, the cold of space, all of it fades. He feels free. He is still himself, but lighter, wider, larger, like his mind has grown beyond his body. There is no more beeping, no more oxygen warnings, no more fear of death. And in that quiet, boundless place, he hears a new kind of voice, not from outside, but from everywhere at once. You are not the first, you will not be the last, but you are ready. The narrator speaks over this moment. The ring had not dragged him into death. It had opened him into knowledge, into a place where the universe stored what it could not lose, memory, wisdom, and the truth that no species should carry alone. The light grows brighter. The scene becomes almost pure white. The commander senses something coming. Not danger, something bigger, an understanding, a choice. As part 4 closes, the last line of narration floats gently. What happens to the commander now will decide not only his own fate, but the future of every human who will one day look up at the night sky and wonder, are we alone? Light surrounds him like a warm ocean, but there is no water here, no air, no gravity, no sound, just a wide, endless field of glowing white stretching farther than imagination. For a moment, the commander cannot even tell if his eyes are open or closed. The light is everywhere, outside him, inside him, through him. He floats, but not the way he floated in space before. Here, drifting feels different, softer, controlled, balanced. Almost like someone is holding him, guiding him through this strange new place. Narration begins softly when he passed through the ring. The commander did not enter another part of space. He entered a different layer of reality, a place built not from matter, but from energy, memory, and intention. Slowly, shapes begin to appear inside the light. At first they are only shadows, moving like distant waves. Then they become clearer lines, curves, glowing patterns that float in the air like writing made from stars. The same symbols he saw earlier inside the shadow and inside the ring. But now they move in harmony. They dance around him, forming paths, forming circles, forming stories. He watches them carefully. His heartbeat slows. He feels no fear here, only wonder. He whispers to himself, "Where am I?" No voice answers, but a deep warmth rises inside him, not from his suit, not from an external source, but from something connected directly to his mind. It feels like a response, a welcome, an invitation. The glowing symbols shift again, they merge, they expand, they form new shapes, and then they open. The white light thins, becoming a transparent curtain. Behind the curtain, something extraordinary appears. A room, not a human room, not a room with walls, but a vast open space filled with floating images, thousands of them hanging in midair like memory bubbles. Each one is a window showing a different moment in time. A star exploding, a planet forming, a civilization rising, a civilization fading. He steps closer, or maybe the room moves toward him. He cannot tell. Here, movement does not feel physical, it feels like thought. He gently touches one of the glowing windows. It reacts instantly. An entire world comes to life inside it. Green forests under 2 suns, mountains covered in golden mist, rivers glowing like blue fire, and tall, graceful beings walking through crystal cities, their bodies shining softly like starlight wrapped in skin. He gasps. "They were real," he whispers. "They all were real." Narration deepens. The commander was not looking at imagination. He was looking at history, the true history of the universe. History hidden from young species like humans because they were not yet ready to understand the scale of existence. The beings in the memory move with silent purpose. They gather near a tall structure, one that looks strangely familiar. A ring, but much smaller. A model, perhaps, a blueprint. The commander watches them raise their arms. Light flows from their hands into the ring model. The structure glows, then expands, turning into a much larger version. The same design he saw floating in space. The same gateway that pulled him in. These beings created the rings. They move their hands again. The image shifts. Now he sees the ring being placed in space, orbiting a star. Energy waves rise around it, stabilizing the region. The ring glows brighter and brighter. Then a flash, a storm, a collapse. The beings try to hold the structure together, but the star behind it begins to die. The gravity tears the ring apart. Light shrieks through the image. The beings scream without sound. He steps back as the vision fades. Narration continues softly. The rings were not weapons. They were not portals for war. They were containers of knowledge built to preserve the memories of ancient civilizations. But the universe is unpredictable, and many rings were lost to time, to cosmic disasters, to the natural violence of the stars. The commander breathed slowly, absorbing the truth. The rings were libraries, archives, cosmic vaults, and he had entered one. He drifts further into the chamber. More images open around him, a giant creature swimming through gas clouds of Jupiter-like planets. A civilization made of sound waves living inside a hollow moon. A race of small, stone-bodied beings evolving in the core of an asteroid. Each window shows something impossible, something beautiful, something unknown to humans. The universe is not empty, it is full of stories. But then the images change again. Now he sees destruction. Worlds torn apart by supernovas, planets cracked open by gravity tides, civilizations erased by cosmic accidents without warning, without mercy. His heart tightens. "Why show me this?" he whispers. A new shape appears behind him. He turns slowly. A figure stands there, made of pure light. No face, no eyes, no limbs in the human sense, only a tall, smooth form shaped like a flame frozen in mid-motion. The entire figure pulses softly with energy. The commander cannot move. He breathes slowly. The figure raises an arm, not a physical arm, but a wave of light. The space around it bends like soft water. It does not speak with sound, but a powerful, clear message fills his mind. "You are the first of your kind to cross." He swallows. "Why me?" Images flash, him studying the signal, him feeling the pull of curiosity, him reaching toward the distant glow, him accepting the unknown instead of fearing it. The voice inside him answers, "Humans grow fast, much faster than we expected. Curiosity is your oldest strength. Your fear is your oldest weakness, but you carried one and controlled the other." The commander breathes deeply. "So what do you want from me?" The figure pulses gently. "To understand." He looks confused. "Understand what?" The figure moves closer, the light around it swirls. "Understand the danger, understand the beauty, understand what is coming." "What is coming?" he asks again, his voice trembling. Instead of answering, the figure touches his helmet with a strand of light. A surge fills him, not painful, not frightening, but overwhelming. Images pour into him faster than before. Earth from space, humans discovering fire, humans building cities, humans launching rockets, humans touching the moon, then something else, something future. A bright flash near Earth's orbit, a distortion like the ones he saw near the ring. A signal stronger than any before, a new shadow approaching Earth. He gasps, his breath shakes, his eyes widen. His mind almost breaks under the weight of the vision. He sees Earth not destroyed but tested, challenged, forced to evolve or collapse. The vision ends abruptly. He floats weakly, barely able to speak. What was that? The light being moves back slightly, a warning and a gift. The chamber shifts around them, the glowing windows fold back into the light. The white room begins to collapse into a tunnel of brightness. He feels himself being lifted, moved, carried through impossible space. "You have seen what no human has seen." The voice vibrates inside him. "Now return." Return, but how? "I have no oxygen, my ship is gone, my radio, we will send you back." The voice grows softer, "And you will carry what you learned, not to explain, not to frighten, but to prepare." The light becomes stronger, the universe tilts, he feels weight again, a cold rush of air hits him, darkness returns, suddenly stars, he is back in normal space. Earth rises beneath him, glowing blue and alive, his radio crackles. Commander, do you copy? We've found you." A rescue ship approaches, small lights flashing like tiny beacons in the void. The commander breathes heavily, tears fill his eyes, he is alive, he is home, but he is not the same. Narration returns softly. He came back from the silent ocean of the universe carrying something no human mind was built to hold, knowledge, warning, memory, and a truth older than Earth itself. As the rescue ship grabs him with its mechanical arm, the commander whispers one final line: "The universe is not empty, it is waiting." Fade out, end of documentary.